The sacrifice of religion. Religion is the biggest criminal organization of control, and we have let the show run for far too long, with violence as their ammunition and fear as their weapon. Now they sacrificed women for religion, for control, for power. Our power, female energy. So how exactly was it done? When did this happen? How did they let it happen? Who did it? Why is it still going on? Now, these are the questions that I aim to discover, and I dare to ask. The very questions I was told not to ask. Women are a spiritual portal, a bridge between realms. We are an energy that it runs in our earth, in the earth. Our wombs are a portal of energy. We live with the cycle of the moon, thus a big threat. Welcome to Tetanum, a podcast for Africans by Africans. Now, I'm going to be using Christianity and the Bible to peel this onion of control, of patriarchy, sexual manipulation, lack of accountability, clear bias, because the math does not math. And I will be using 10 women as the torch of this darkness. Something that could have been here to achieve good has instead been the root of evil, and that is religion. Now, these women include Mary, the mother of Christ, Mary Magdalene, Eve, Lilith, Jezebel, Jael, Esther, Delilah, Medusa, and finally, the African woman. 10 women who are going to help us look at the clear bias within this whole system. So pay attention and see the pattern, and you will clearly see the glitch. Now, where exactly does religion come from? What does it mean? So there are two theories. First of all, it is a Latin word. Now, from the word regalia, which means to bind, to tie back, it suggests that religion is about being bound to a divine, being tied to sacred obligations. Now, there's also another word, regalia, but with an Legre. We're going to have the spelling here, which means to go over and over carefully. And this suggests that rituals, observation, practices come together to make somebody be doing something over and over. So religion, as we said, it's a prefix of two words. Re, which means to repeat, going over and over and over, and legion, to bind. Again, when they come together, it's a unity of belief to connect with humanity with a divine force. However, this same tool also became something for blackmail, for control, for forced submission, with rules set in place in order to have order that doesn't make sense, which end up encouraging mass power, mass control, mass manipulation, mass trickery. And it's time for you to start seeing through those holes. Now, the Bible is a very interesting book. It has types of the Bibles, and we're going to get there, which is quite insane. So the general Bible has 66 books, 39 from the Old Testament and 27 from the New Testament. That is the Protestant canon Bible. Now, we have the Catholic Church, which has 73 books, the Ethiopian Church, the Tewahedo, which has 81 books. Now, with the general book, which the Old Testament is divided in a couple of ways. There's the books of law, the books of history, we have the books of wisdom and poetry, the books of prophets, which include major prophets and our minor prophets. And then we go to the New Testament, which has, of course, the Gospels. And in some books, in some Bible versions, it's different from another one. Don't forget that, which is very weird. There are also the history of the early church. These ones are covered from the apostolic books. And then we go to the letters, the epistolic books. We go to the prophecy books, which are the apocalyptic texts, that's Revelation, Daniel. Some books like Enoch, which are also in this category, were not added. That's very weird. We also have other texts that I can bet you have not heard of. And that is why we're here. Gnostic texts. What are these texts? What am I talking about? These are associated with spirituality, with aristocratic knowledge with the path of divinity and salvation, but very big emphasis on self-greatness and looking for the creator within us so that we can be able to connect to them, to him or her. I honestly believe God is a woman. You can sue me for that. Gnostic texts are ancient religious writings produced by Gnostic Christian communities in the late antiquities. And they are found in the Nag Hammadi libraries, which was discovered in Egypt in 1945. Now, here is when it gets funny. Now, something about the Hammadi library that you need to know. This library was hidden for over 1,600 years by the churches. The men who sat down and decided which books will be included in the Bible, once they knew about this library's existence with all of this ancient knowledge, did what? Buried it. Yes, they buried it. This place had been around from around, if we do math really quick, 345, 46 BC? No, not BC, after Christ. That, my friends, is a lot of history to change. That is a lot of manipulation to be done. The very, very same Bible tells us that we are not supposed to add, subtract things from the knowledge passed to us, but that is exactly what they did. They added and subtracted knowledge to be able to help them surpass their own agenda, their agenda of control, of manipulation. Right now, Israel is killing everyone in Gaza, and we are all looking aside. Sudan is in perils. We are all looking aside. Congo is in perils. We are all looking aside. What exactly do these wars have in relation with the topic today? The Bible, 10 women, books of the Bible, religion, Christianity, sacrifice of religion. How does it all make sense? Well, all of it is all tethered together. Because in order for them to have you thinking a certain way, to behaving a certain way, to move a certain way, there are certain pawns that they have to be moved a certain way. And when these pawns were moved, it shaped different things in history. When Mary gave birth and was told, follow the North Star, don't go the other side, it shaped history. These things shaped history. The decisions these men made to pick some certain books of the Bible and of sacred script and put it as the Bible affects us till today. There's a whole notion of submission with women, literacy with women, leadership with women, and that is the things that we're going to be breaking down here. And please do not forget, religion is the enemy. Religion was not supposed to be the enemy, even by the basic of its meaning, but it was made the enemy. Why do we have different churches? Why? Why do we have the SEK, the PCK, the Protestants, the Anglicans, the SDAs, the Catholic? Why? Why do we have one Bible that has 69 books and another Bible that has 81 and another one that has 73? It makes no sense. Why do we say that there are books that were not added in the Bible? Books like Enoch, like Maccabees, why weren't they added? There are Gospels that you don't even know about, such as the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was picked by Jesus to have specific spiritual knowledge, very unique knowledge. And everybody felt jealous. And what did they make her? They turned her into a whore. Lilith decided that she's not going to conform to this sort of control, and that if God has made you and I the same, why should I be bowing down and kissing at your feet? She refused the nonsense. And what did they do? They made her a demon. And then they erased her. But when women like Esther use their body and their beauty to serve their nation, they are good women. But when Delilah does the same thing to serve her nation, she's another whore. She's another rag. She is a manipulator. She's a sexual pariah. That's what they brand us for. How is it the same creator who created me a woman in private, in secret, when everyone and everything was asleep. How am I all of a sudden the master of deceit? How is it all of a sudden my fault that a man can't keep it in his pants? How is it my fault? How are you calling me dirty for having a period? Yet it is a creator who gave it to me. So are you trying to say that God was dirty in doing that? Like you guys, we always say God is perfect. God is clean, God is all-knowing, which I agree, 101%. But these small notions, there's a lot of logic that's not logicking, a lot of math that's not mathing. And I'm so prepared for the hate I will get, for the she's being demonology. Yeah, accuse me of being a demonologist, but did you know King James used to write books about demonology, about cannibalism, about human sacrifices, and they're the person about he was a gay guy. I have nothing against him being gay, but then came and said being gay is fucked up. The same person is the same person you want to quote for me. Come on. And this is exactly why religions like Islam beat us. This is where they beat us. Because the Quran, for example, it is the same version. It is the same version. It's not doctored, it's not altered, it's not changed, it's not translated. Meaning it does not what? It does not lose its meaning. But when we come to Christianity, sips drink. When it comes to Christianity, it's a whole different ballgame. We have 5,000 types of churches. We have 500 types of Bibles. Everybody can convert. There was such a notion of we have to make people understand this thing. Like, you have to understand it. I need you as an African to ask yourself a very simple question. How is the same God that was told to us that we should pray with delight and abide to? We are also told that the same God does not listen to our prayers. This is something that the colonizers brought for us. Now, I am not disputing Christianity. Let's get that straight. Because Christianity actually dated back in Africa. Where? Egypt. No, sorry, not Egypt. Ethiopia. That is why they have that's why the book is the Bible is that big, because it has texts and scriptures that have been erased, have basically been erased. It has scripts that have been erased and messages that have been erased. It talks about how you are in charge of your spiritual life. You are the remote controlling that entire aircraft. You are the pilot, not the priest, not the pastor, not the bishop, not the imam, you. Something that also Jesus himself taught. And who did he tell? Mary Magdalene. He taught Mary Magdalene that everybody can be as great as me and greater. It begins with you. That's what he taught. But nah, he was crazy. And these 10 women are going to show us how. Now, these texts, the Gnoic texts that we're talking about, these are gospels, prayers, and other writings that were considered heretical, crazy, too radical, too self-touching. And they were like, no, we need to bury these things. And that is what they buried. For 354 years, yes, we've gotten the math right. 354 years is how long they were here. But they were like, you know what? Doesn't matter. Get rid of you guys. And examples of these gospels include the Gospel of Thomas. We also have the Gospel of Mary. We also have the Arocrypton of John. We also have the Gospel of Judas. I don't know which Judas it is. I'm still to discover which Judas it is. But when we look at women in the Bible, there's a clear pattern of there's a lot of moral I don't even know what the word is. It just doesn't make sense. The good women or the godly women or the women who don't question is the kind of women that they want us to be. But the women who stand up for themselves are always remembered as sinners or as failures because they do not live to the expectation of these specific men or groups, if I can call that. This reveals not only a religious theme of biasness, but also a cultural and patriarchal system. It is so plain how this history and stories of women were recorded so recklessly. Again, they made Magdalene a whore, but they made Esther a queen. And don't forget, they started with Lilith. Then they moved to Eve. Lilith did not subscribe to this nonsense. And what do? They made her a demon and erased her. Eve fell in line. Eve fell in line according to their terms. And by their terms, I mean Adam's terms. I mean the terms of the men. I mean the terms of the men who actually sat down and decided which books of this Bible, which books are we going to use in the Bible? Because no woman was there. Now, they placed the blame on Eve in Genesis. Let's look at chapter 3, verse 6 and verse 12. The woman saw that the fruit on the tree was good. She took some and ate it. She also gave the husband who was with her, and he ate it. The man said, the woman you put here with me gave me some of the fruit, and I ate it. And you ate it? First of all, in Genesis 2:16 to 17, please let's get that part rolling. It says, and the Lord God commanded the man, you are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of knowledge and of good and evil. For when you eat from it, you will certainly die. Okay, so with the use of common sense, who was given the command? Who was given the responsibility? Adam or Eve? Adam then came and told Eve, Aiko alikuja kamwambia, haina shida, si umeniambia nimesikia. But there's something that Eve says when the snake is giving her the fruit. She says that even if I touch it, I'm going to die. That part specifically, I don't really, or I'm still trying to understand really, where did she get that piece of the information about you touching it and dying it? Did she just add it for exaggeration? Or is that how Adam explained it to her? And a crazier theory that I have, did she have a conversation with Lilith? Is it possible that these two women actually spoke to each other in a way? In a way. I don't know. I'm yet to find out that specific part. But it doesn't make sense that Adam was given this responsibility. Ne? He was with Eve. Kama Adam alikuwa anajua haumfai kukula kwa hiyo matunda, kwa nini hakugonga Eve? Hata si kugonga, hakutoa mafuta matunda kwa mkono. Why didn't he tell her, we were told not to? But again, this brings in another theory that we say, it said that they didn't know anything. They didn't know good from bad. They didn't have the knowledge, right? So essentially, we could say that Adam and Eve were like children. When you tell ukiambia mtoto usiguze hiyo ni moto utachomeka, yeye hajui kuchomeka kama ni mzuri ama ni mbaya. So what if even when she did it and Adam was there, I was like, okay, she's eating it, she's gonna die. I don't know if that's a good thing. I like, okay, vibes. I don't know if dying is a good thing or a bad thing. I think that's one way to look at it. But here is the other way to look at it, because people are so quick to blaming Eve of like, cool, because they assume she knew. We assume we knew things. So if we're assuming they knew, Adam for one knew that she's not supposed to eat it. He let her eat it. Why? Ask yourself, why did he let her eat it? He knew. See, he was told you're not supposed to eat from it. Why did he let her do it? Is it that he was like, okay, let's see, if she eats it, if she dies, okay, this thing is not from me. Did he actually use Eve as a guinea pig? I think he actually used Eve as a guinea pig. And then what did he do? he blamed her. But it was his fault. It was his fault. He was the one, he's the leader. He is the leader. He is the, it's like, let me take a very simple example. Shule. Watu wakifanya exams za KCSE na shule isipofanya vizuri, so wanaangalianga principal. They always change the principal first. Why? The principal is the leader. The principal is the leader. Then they go to the student, but it starts from who? It starts from up. So, Adam, mimi nikipatana na wewe, hiyo ndio swali nakuuliza. Hilo ndilo swali ninakuuliza. Another thing that also makes me really question this is we know very well, we always say that God knows everything. God knows everything, and I agree with that 100%. So that means God knew that this would be a result. Can we say that God actually knew this would be a result? Can all of this is a game? Is all of this a test? Is all of this just a game? Was he or she trying to be like, okay, let's see if you'll follow instructions without you knowing if it's good or bad? Let's see. Was it a bet? Was it a quest of curiosity? Because these are questions that come from the very, very, very Bible. From the same Bible that you are willing to die for. I've not said don't die for it. I'm just like, dude, use your brain. Open your eyes. See, we ate from the fruit of good and bad, of good and evil. Use it. Use it. Actually use it. When Esther went and pled for her people, if you've actually listened to the story of Esther, you'd know that the king literally, this guy had auditions. This guy had auditions to find a wife. Alikuwa na auditions, Buddha. Ilikuwa kama, it was the then version of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Actually Bachelor, because there's no way they're going to make men line up for women. There's no way they're going to do that. So that was The Bachelor BC. So are you telling me that she didn't flaunt herself to get this man? Come on. Come on. Come on. Are you honestly trying to assume that Esther did not use her body for the mission? She did. She had to. Guys, actually think the exact same thing Delilah did is the exact same thing that Esther did. The only difference is which team are you playing for? That's the difference. Delilah was not playing for the Israelites. She was not playing for them. And they branded her a bad person. And the thing about Delilah, guys, if we're being very honest, you know this lady, you know how they say it is very hard to understand you women. This woman proved it's very easy to understand us. It's very easy. She asked this man 5 times what your weakness is. Mimi nikuuliza mara 3 kitu. So unajua, you're on to something. This babe asked this guy 5 times what your weakness is. So by now, by the time you've asked me the 3rd time, I've clocked. You're actually trying to figure out what my weakness is. But then, Delilah is the one who was blamed when she told Samson, kwani, umse alikuwa nugu, bro. Umse alikuwa fala. I'm sorry, but this guy was... Esther is the one who actually had different motives. Esther is the one who went creeping. Esther was a gully creeper. Delilah went straight to the point. But she's the one who's dimmed her. She's the one who's sexually immoral. She's the one who's evil. She's the one who's conniving. The same thing Delilah did. I mean, the same thing Esther did. Copy-paste. Copy-paste. Esther became a queen, though. Shout out to that. Esther became a queen. So what other things don't we understand? What other things from this book do you read and you're like, huh? What other things can we break down from this book and you're like, this actually does not make sense? This is actually, I need you to be like, Because how are How are you telling me that saying children should starve to death is something that God has commanded you? It just doesn't make sense. There are a lot of questions you need to ask yourself as a woman when it comes to this religion thing. There are a lot of questions you actually need to ask yourself. God is a creator, right? Between you and a man, who is a creator? Between you and a man, who is the creator? So if we are the creators, how are you telling me that everything God said is working opposite for us? Everything that God said. How are you telling me that when I die? This is one of the craziest things. Oh my God, one of the craziest things I always hear is that when men die, and you lived a good life, you have 7 virgins waiting for you in heaven. 7 virgins. And then for women, I have a husband waiting for me. Who told you when I go to heaven, may I want a husband? No. If I'm going to have a husband on earth, why do I need another husband in heaven? Please, why have we been minimized to nothing but things to be given to men? Why? Why is there a whole book of collection of other books that tell women, encourage women to sacrifice themselves, and that sacrificing of ourselves is fine? Bro, my whole existence is already a sacrifice. I am born in pain, through pain, for pain, with pain. I'm an existence of pain. I am currently in pain as I'm doing this, but here I am. So it is very and utter nonsense for us women to keep believing and to keep falling for this misogynistic nonsense. A group of men sat down and decided which books are best for this Bible, knowing very well they're not going to add some things. Even after the Gospel of Mary was discovered, they are not going to add it in the Bible. Why? Because it defies everything. And that's some of the stuff we're going to talk about. One of the things that is highly highlighted in the Gospel of Mary, of which I'm going to come and share it with you guys, is that when she was asked, they were having a conversation with the disciples. Remember when Jesus left, everybody was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, he's gone. And Mary was like, guys, chill. Just chill, guys. Like, just tap back with you. Peace within, bro. Like, honestly, chill. Ako na sisi, nini una panic? Nini una panic? And she started giving teachings. And one of the teachings that she was giving is that the Lord told me that the greatness that we're looking for is from ourselves. We can be great. We say that we are the temple of Christ. You know, we always say we're the temple of the Lord, but you forget, as a temple, iko ndani yako. That's the point we forget. We forget that point, and then you run to a priest so fast. We forget that. And you need to stop forgetting that. And Jesus was so huge on that. Stop forgetting that. And Peter was shocked. Peter was like, you're telling me the Lord told you, a woman, such knowledge in secret, but could not find comfort in telling us men in public? This was Peter's shock. This was Peter's shock. So what does that tell you already? There's already that perception. There's a perception of women. There's a perception of the place of women. There's an ailment perception that women cannot hold knowledge. And now when we come back into the African woman, as African women, we have been the holders of knowledge. We have been the holders of spirituality from the beginning of time. When the men were going to war, who were they coming for and asking for blessing and prayers? To women, because what were women doing? Women were going to the mountains. Women were the ones going to the mountains and doing the prayers. Women were the ones who are doing this. Why? We are a sacred spiritual link. You as a woman are a spiritual link. And this system that you're spending your life trying to defend, is not here for you. It will never be here for you. And you need to snap the fuck out of it. You need to understand that why men run to sexual violence as a way to prove their dominance is because they have no other way. It's because they have no other way. They try to take something, but they cannot have the power of creation. And you need to understand that is a weakness according to them. You are a weakness, and they're always going to try to turn you against you. So yeah, keep thinking that you're dirty. Keep thinking that you're unclean. Keep thinking that your work is to submit. Keep thinking, even submission is a huge topic we're going to talk about. Keep thinking, keep. But when it comes to the blue pill and the red pill, we're going to see. Because at the end of this series, you have to pick a pill. You will have to pick a pill, either the blue pill or the red pill. Now we know, okay, where are we going from here? So do not forget, the power that you are looking for is within yourself. The greatness you are looking for is within yourself. You are your biggest enemy, and you are also your biggest fan. It is all up to you. It has been I, Malika Ouma, for another episode of Tetanam. And oh, I cannot wait to burn down this bridge, to light and gas this fire so high. I cannot wait to make someone feel triggered. Because they know, my bias is being questioned. Good. I am here to question those biases. I am here to make you actually sit down and be like, wait, let me actually use my brain for 2 seconds and understand what's this you guys have been telling me. This has been Tetanam. Stay African, and please, stay radical, always.